Okay, so this is about how to quickly trust after divorce. And so I just got off the phone with a self proclaimed people pleaser, reformed codependent. And so, she was really struggling with trusting herself. And I think that is a common thing for people pleasers. They have to relearn how to trust again. And the thing was, it was taking its toll on her relationship with her significant other. She was constantly being triggered by a high conflict ex and didn't really have good clarity on where to go with how to deal with him. And so her kids were put in the middle between her and her ex, with her being kind of like a people pleaser, kind of wishy washy, and him being very controlling and erratic. They those kids needed a very clear, aligned, happy, healthy mom. That's what I told her. They need one really happy, healthy parent, because what was going on is that she had unhealed abandonment wounds. She had an emotionally neglectful father, and she could tell me instances. She knew of specific events where he totally dismissed her, totally like was whatever, and disappointed her in so many ways. And she's still carrying that around. 35 years later, we carry that toxic shit around with us, and it sabotages how we show up for our kids, for example. And so energetically, there was this part of her that was needy with her kids. They're teenagers, they're independent, they're wanting to go do their thing, but they could sense how their mom needed them. And she knew that she was holding them back and it wasn't fair to them. They needed a safe, secure place. They're not supposed to be her safe, secure place. She needs to be the adult. And this is all like energetically. This is, our kids are very intuitive. They very much sense our needs and our resentments and fully showing up. They really, really do. And so her kids were really sensing this. And so they felt really pulled by both parents. And so not only that, but her relationship with her significant other was really, really struggling because she didn't have really good boundaries with her teens. So they were struggling with this boyfriend of hers and how to accept him. And so there were a lot of really unclear expectations in her relationships. And so, what you need to do is to get really clear on those expectations and communicate them in a way that they can understand and that is aligned with you. So, the key really is to heal those underlying abandonment wounds that are preventing you from showing up fully as your adult parent self. Otherwise, you're going to be showing up in your relationships as that wounded inner child, needy child looking for acceptance, looking for validation, because that's what she's doing. She's looking for validation from all these other places and hasn't given it herself. And the key is to delve into the root of that, which, you know what, actually, she had done a lot of self awareness work. She'd done some previous group recovery programs and had gotten to a certain point, and now she was stuck. And I said, good for you. You are amazing. Just the fact that you've done this much work this far, amazing. But what she was stuck in is now she needed to get the truth was she knew she had these issues, the people pleasing, the codependency, and lack of boundaries. And she's like, I tried to do the boundaries and I just can't seem to follow through. And I said, that's because you have been taught wrong. The thing is, people have been taught that they need to create boundaries. And actually, it's the opposite. You need to recreate the relationship with yourself first before you start creating boundaries with others and before you start creating relationships with others. You've got to be really clear in radically self accepting yourself, radically uh, loving yourself, self-parenting yourself in a way that you start knowing your worth, owning your value, knowing that you really matter. Because until you do that, you can keep creating all the boundaries that you want, but you won't follow through, because the truth is you don't really internally, deep down, believe that your needs matter. And so you'll continue to let those boundaries be fluid, and you'll continue to be triggered by that high conflict X, because no one can make you feel inferior unless deep down there's a part of you that believes it's true. So until you have healed those deep abandonment wounds, those deep childhood wounds that are surfacing in your relationships and they're surfacing as people pleasing, until you know without a doubt that your needs matter, I matter, my needs matter, and what I want matters. And until you internalize that, you're going to continue to look for validation and um, approval from other people because you don't have it internally, and you cannot heal internal problems with external solutions. But that's what we're all doing. We're all doing that. And so I told her, look, it's not about you recreating this new version of yourself moving forward. I want to show you how to unveil the beautiful whole part of you that's been there that whole time. Transformation is not about changing who you are. Transformation is really about unveiling who you've always been all along and aligning with that and knowing that you're loved, you matter, no matter what the external world says or believes about you. So that's really what it is. So you've got to align back with who you are. So, how do you do that, right? So, you've got to do the inner work and identify those wounds and utilize actionable strategies, which is what I'm doing in our boot camp. We are using actionable strategies and real life tools that you can implement in your life right now, today, tomorrow, and shift how you are showing up in all of your relationships. That's really the truth. And when you shift your relationship with yourself, then you can trust others, because trust is really not about other people. It's really about the relationship that you have with yourself. So if you want your free resource on how to heal those abandonment wounds and show up differently in your relationship, shoot me a DM or hashtag yes below, and I would love to connect with you further. All right, listen, I will see you later.